Hi everyone, it's Heidi Smith here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the United Kingdom, and today we're going to be making a project to use up some of our lovely Parisian Blossoms paper, which is retiring. So if you like this, then get it now before it goes. It is beautiful paper and it's got some lovely sort of champagne foiling. So if you have been to Paris or you're thinking about journeying, this is fabulous paper. If you're a card maker, if you're a scrapbooker, absolutely gorgeous. Even if you haven't been to Paris and you're planning a trip to Paris at some point in the future, then this is great paper because you've got lovely travel themed images. Say it's called Parisian Blossoms, but it's got travel and floral images and just lovely script, which is foiled. And so on the reverse you've got some pretty images as well, like trellis work and post marks, sort of almost fleur-de-lis as well. Great paper. Grab some while it's available, but don't delay because it does things do go quickly. This I deliberately haven't used the dies. I've just hand cut these out, and then this I've used here is using the Label Me Lovely punch to create a long label, and then the stamp in the middle is actually from this new Ornate Thanks. So this is a fabulous stamp set because you've got these three big messages, sort of sentiments, and then you've got extras to add. So you can go, why thank you, or seriously, so grateful, thank you ever so much, thanks if you prefer that, from the bottom of my heart, and you compare these to create your own bespoke sentiments, which I think this one I've just put as very simple, thank you. So that's what I'm using for the stamps. Photopolymer. It does come in a bundle with some lovely dies. I'm going to be working with those soon. So keep subscribed to me if you want to see those projects. The other thing I've used is some lovely striped organdy ribbon. So that's petal pink as well to coordinate. So there's our project. Oh, what's inside? So good size gift box, and this ribbon slider just slides off, and inside I've just popped some chocolates. I've got kind of 8 Lindors, so you could get a big box, much cheaper than buying the little individual boxes, those little tiny ones, and you could just give a really nice gift, perfect to go with a bottle of wine, maybe something like that. So there's our project. Let's get started. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock, this one I've done the original in petal pink, so I thought we'd perhaps go with the pool party for this one, with petal pink accents. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock, and you're going to need it at 22.5 by 21 centimetres. I have done it in inches. I'm not going to give the inches out now because it gets really confusing when YouTube tries to do the subtitles. It comes up with some very weird and wonderful things. So, but I will put them on my blog for you. Just pop along and you'll to this post and you'll see it. You're going to score the long edge at 3.5. Which I've just done on the right hand side here, at 10.5, at 14, at 21 centimetres. Then turn it to the short, and you're going to score at 3.5, and either at 17.5 or just flip it round and score again at 3.5. Now, to make it easier, what I'm actually going to do is on the piece where you've got the little short one, if you have that up at the top, and I want you to line that up at 2 centimetres on the right and cut down to the second score line. And this is just to make our side panels a little bit easier. Flip it around, line it up at 2 centimetres again. So this time the little narrow panel is right down at the bottom. Hopefully you can see that just here. Let me fold that in. Okay, so if if you, I just turned it at an angle, you're going to do it at 2 centimetres and you're coming from the bottom up. So from the bottom up to that second score line again. And that's just going to make a nice neat side bit for our box. So that's all of our scoring done. I have pre-cut quite a few of the pieces just to speed things up for you. But let's do some trimming. So you're going to cut down on the long edge. And you will have 2 kind of squarish ones which you're going to notch out like so, because those are going to be our tabs that will fold in to create the box. And do the same on the other side. So straight down that long tab and then just notch out. And then you're going to cut away on the 4 corners here. Actually, I should have burnished my folds before I did this. Would have made, which is what I usually do. Okay, it doesn't matter because we can do that now. So just burnish these score lines. And what you'll need, just while I'm burnishing, is you'll need a corner rounder. Now, it actually doesn't matter what corner rounder you use. I'm using a 1/2 inch corner rounder, and that just refers to the diameter, just because it's a nice size. I have got an old Stampin' Up Project Life one somewhere, but I can't put my hand on it right now. I think it's actually my sort of travel craft stuff. And what I'm going to do is just corner round on the edges of where it folds in, just to make it look tidy. Now, if you haven't got a corner rounder, there's a fabulous corner punch in the Stampin' Up catalogue, but you could just notch these out if you were doing a project and you hadn't got time to order it. When you're doing these back ones, if you want to do the back ones, fold in those side panels first, and then you can pop that in to corner round. Okay, so again I'm doing the same, just fold those in to corner round, so you end up with some nice rounded corners like so. Again, just reinforce those creases, score lines, and you end up with a piece that looks like this. So now we're going to add our panels. So I've already cut the panels, so you're going to need a panel for the top if you're going to put a layer on, which I have, and the card is 13.5 by 6.5 with a layer that's 13 by 6. You then want 2 side panels, so this is for the front and the back, where the card is 13.5 by 3 centimetres. And the DSP, Designer Series paper, patterned paper if you will, is 13 by 2.5. I'll pop that there so you can see it. And then you want 2 pieces to go on to the sides here, which I haven't trimmed down, there we go, which are 6.5 by 3 and 6 by 2.5. So this one I obviously haven't trimmed down yet. And then you're going to want to create your panels, and I'll come to that in a moment. So let's get sticking all of these down while we can. Okay, so I'm going to use my snail to stick my paper onto my card, because that's a really quick way for me to do that on a video. However, you might want to use tearing tape. That's the Stampin' Up double-sided tape. And that's really good for, it is nice and strong for creating those layers. Now where you've got a pattern, just keep an eye on it. If it's directional, which way you want it to be. I'm going to actually pop that like so, because that's going to be the front piece. Let's do the same with these. Now snail is retiring, there's a new glue coming out, a new kind of canister, container, tape runner. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what that is. We've been without, well, I haven't been without because I've been using up all my old stuff, but we've been without the fast fuse for a while. And whilst not everybody got on with it, I found that extra strong glue was fantastic. So very excited that that's coming out. But in the meantime, I mean, really you can't go wrong with Stampin' Up glues, and they are fantastic. So I'm just going to trim that down to 6 centimetres. And the tear and tape, you know, is great. And I do use tear and tape for my box making because it holds really well. But I do find that obviously it's a little more time consuming when I'm demonstrating on my videos. So where you've got a little bit more time, by all means do so. Use whatever your preferred glue is. Or Tombow is another really great glue and really good for box making, nice and secure. But so again, just look at your pattern and stuff so and go, right, which way is up? So this way is up on my box. So there's my basic box. I am going to use my fuse here for speed. So I'm going to put glue on these 4 tabs that you can see, and then we're just going to line those corners up. So just line those up and give them a good squeeze. And they say if you're using Tombow, just take you a little bit longer, just allow that glue to set before you start filling it with anything. So there's our basic box ready for you to pop some treats into. So let's do our label. So you're going to need a piece of Pool Party, and that's going to be 5.2 by 13.5. So just it's about an inch, but just slightly over. 5.2 by our 13.5, and then this is just another way of using those punches to create something just a little bit of a different way. So what you do is you take your piece of card and from underneath just feed it in. You see here, and it just fits snugly between those lines, and just wait till the end disappears and punch. Repeat on the other end. Now the great thing about this is it doesn't have to be precise. If you push it in a little bit further, that's fine. It just changes, reduces the length slightly for your border. It is a little bit more fiddly to get it in, but just work your way in. Say if you do it to 5.2 or just under, it works perfectly. And then again, just punch the edge there. So there you've got your long label. We're then going to take a piece which is 3.5 by 11, and you're lining it up with that little middle section. So you can just see on the end there, that little middle section, and just do the same on the other end. So all I'm doing is just lining that up like so. So that creates our label. I'm doing that bit first, and then we're going to come in with our thank you stamp. So with our thank you, I thought it'd be really nice probably to use some Pool Party for that, to pick up the Pool Party layer. And photopolymer. Now I am using my Stampin' Pierce mat. These are going, so you know, if you haven't got one, grab one. They're so useful for all sorts of things. But what I would say is, if you haven't, then grab a stack of just ordinary copier paper, something just to cushion it, just gives a better impression. There's my thank you. So that's going to layer on, and you can see here onto that there. So again, this one I've made slightly longer than my previous one. But that's the beauty. You can go in and trim it a bit further if you wanted to. But there we go. Like so. And then I've already pre-cut some of the flowers out of here. And these, I've even sort of used the edge flowers as well. So just add a little glue to the side and just pop those on the corner. And then another one just to embellish that there. So now we can take our box and take a length of the ribbon, and here we go. Just measure so you've got probably about an inch overlap, and cut that. Now this is where I would recommend, if you've got some, use some double-sided tape for this. So you're just going to pop a little bit on the end, and don't pull it too tight either. So just add a piece of double-sided tape. And then I'm going to move that join. There you go, make sure that's, yeah, that's fine. So that'll slide off nicely. And then over that, on that centre piece again, I'm going to stick another piece of red tape, like so. Obviously, once you've got your treats inside, you won't be able to push the lid down. And the curse of videos, where you add some tape and then cannot lift it up. There we go. Ta-da! Right, there's my box, there's my label. So pop the ribbon in the middle, just add a layer, and there we have a pair of pretty boxes with a ribbon wraparound using the beautiful Parisian blossoms, ready for you to gift chocolates, sweets, or, you know, a lovely piece of jewellery. A scarf might fit in there as well, but anything you want to say thank you. And if you'd like to purchase any of the products, pop along to my blog, flutterbyheidi.co.uk. You'll find the links to the specific products there, or just pop to my shop, heidismith.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!